Okay guys, are you ready to get geeky with it? We're talking about podcast equipment, which honestly, there should be whole conferences, and there kind of are, that just talk about podcasting equipment. That is not the point of today's video. I want to simplify this process for you. And so I'm gonna show you what I recommend you use. This is not gonna be an exhaustive list of all the different microphones out there and all the headphones and oh man, who needs that, right? If you want that, seriously, just do a search online. You'll find a trillion different people talking about the latest and greatest. But I have tested a lot of things out there, and I've come up with a couple different options of the bare minimum of what you need to get your podcast up and running. We are gonna simplify this today. You guys ready? Okay. So the first thing you're gonna need, it's actually only 4 pieces of equipment, if you even wanna call it equipment, that you're gonna need. You ready? First one, you need a microphone. Ta-da! Surprise, surprise, you're doing a podcast, you need a microphone. Now, I do recommend that you go a step above, whatever mic comes in, the headset that you also use for work and conference calls. Like, I do recommend that you get a mic that is truly gonna capture what your voice actually sounds like. And there's 2 different mics that I recommend. By the way, both of these are condenser mics. If you do any research on mics, you're gonna hear people talk about condenser mics and dynamic mics. What you really need to know about this is condenser mics, in my humble opinion, make your voice sound more authentic to what it actually sounds like when you're talking to someone in real life. And I want that authenticity in my podcast. I don't want any processing. I don't want anything else that is going to make or distort the way my voice sounds, if that makes sense. And in my opinion, the dynamic mics distort my voice a little bit. So I stay clear of those, and I only recommend condenser mics. One downside of condenser mics is because it's picking up every little nuance in your voice, it can also pick up other noises in the room around you. It has no filter. It is capturing everything. So if you are gonna be in an environment where it's a little bit more noisy, you're just gonna wanna try to protect the noise as much as possible and try to get as little of that in your podcast, because condenser mics do pick up more of your surrounding noise. All right, you ready? We're gonna show you, which one should I go for first? This, guys, look at this. In fact, I'm gonna show over here. Look at this. This is a microphone. This little thing is a microphone. I created a new podcast where I had podcast hosts from all over the country. I had like 5 or 6 podcast hosts, and I literally purchased 6 or 7 of the top podcasting mics that people were using. I purchased them and I test them all out. And this little guy was one of the best ones. So what is this little guy? I just love this little case. Isn't this the cutest thing ever? I mean, talk about compact. I mean, who wants a big microphone just sitting around? All right, here it is, guys. This is the Samson Go mic. And it has this little clip. So you can actually just take this and you could clip it on your computer if you wanted to do that. I don't usually use this mic that way. I like to combine it with some other things to bring it closer to my mouth. But believe it or not, this is a condenser mic. Super small, super compact. And in my opinion, when I compared it against all the other mics that people were using, this was the best one. I was like, it's tiny, it's cute, it's affordable. This thing is on sale all the time on Amazon. And by the way, I'm including links to all of this equipment on Amazon, because if you're anything like me, you'll love you some Amazon, right? And some Amazon Prime. So all of these are gonna be easily available through Amazon. So there's your mic. There's one option number 1. But if you're just like, Sunny, I just don't know. Like that thing, I don't even think I could talk into it. It just feels really weird to me. I want an actual mic. This is my backup, okay? This is what I would go for if you're looking for something that actually looks like a mic. This is Audio-Technica, so it's called an AT2020. You talk into it on the face part this way, so hello, hello. That's how you would use it. Again, it's a condenser mic, and I have like 5 or 6 of these because at one point I had a show that was a roundtable discussion, and we had a bunch of different mics at the table, so I had like 6 of these just sitting around at the table. Worked fantastic. It's also a good price point, although the prices obviously vary. What you need to know about these mics, and what's so important, and so many people that are new to podcasting don't even think about this. You need to know how the microphone connects to your computer, to your laptop, to your desktop. How do you get from here, speaking into this, into your computer? You have to look at the bottom here. You have to know what the connector is. And I'm gonna actually show this in this camera over here. You can see there's no way this is going straight into that laptop. You have to have some sort of a connector, right? And the answer is this. This is an XLR cord. And this will connect into your microphone, but here's the problem with these kind of connectors. And then the more fancy mics do require an XLR cord. You have to have some sort of interface because there's no way this is going to connect directly in there. It's going to need, this is an interface. This is an interface. This is Focusrite's Scarlett 2i2. It's a very popular brand, but this will connect. Actually, it connects in the front here. And this offers 2 channels. So if you had 2 different people, let's say you had a co-hosted show and you wanted everybody on their own mic, you could have 2 different mics feeding into this and it would come out on separate channels, which is really important. So that's how that would work. Then this line runs up, and this is actually connected to this mic up here. And then you can position the mic however you want. So again, this is an XLR cord, and it's for mics, obviously, that need that based on the connector. With the Samson Go mic that I showed you, it's fabulous because it does not require all of that goodness. All you do is plug this in to your Samson Go mic right here. You plug that in, and then this is a USB cord. This plugs directly into your computer, and it's called a USB mic. So if you're searching for things, if you want some other options, look for something that's a USB mic if you don't want to have to buy some sort of other interface to be able to connect your mic to your computer. So those are my 2 recommendations for microphone. And again, the links will be available to you so you can purchase these products if you would like. The next thing you have to think about, and this is especially true with condenser mics, I mentioned that they pick up a lot of the noise that's around you, so you do need it to be as quiet as possible. You also need to have something that basically protects your microphone from some of the harsh noises that come out of your mouth when you're talking, right? When you're doing your podcast. So you've got a couple different options here. First of all, you guys have probably seen this. This is actually on this mic here, which is kind of weird. It's just kind of, it's all right. It's just hanging off to the side there. This is called a windscreen. This is actually a really big windscreen. They come in all different sizes, and odds are they're gonna have a size that fits whatever mic you purchase. So a windscreen literally would block the wind noise if you happen to be outside, but it also protects from the harsh noises that you would create. Mainly sounds like S's and T's and popping noises like that. That can come off really loud in a microphone. So here's your first option. And depending on the size, these, there's different pricing and stuff depending on the size of the windscreen you get. The other option is this beauty. Isn't this fun? Looks like you could kind of like play some sort of sporting game with it. I don't know. This is called a pop filter because it does exactly what I just said. It blocks the puzz and the sss and all those harsh noises. And this can actually fit on a mic stand or a mic arm, which I'm going to show you in just a second. So it just kind of screws on to that, and then it goes in front of your mic, so it would look a little bit like this, right? If this were connected to something. I'll show that over here, right? So that's kind of how it looks. And again, this helps reduce those harsh noises as well. So we talked about the mic, we talked about the filters. Next, I want to talk about what does the mic attach to? So you're not just gonna hold this like, hello. It's very rock star-ish, isn't it? I feel like I should be like waving my hair and stuff like that. But you're not gonna like, pull a Steven Tyler and like kick a stand up or something like that. Any little noise that hits your microphone sounds super loud when you're recording. So you wouldn't want to touch this because you would hear like touching noises and it would sound really loud in your ear. So you don't want that. So you have to have something that it sits on or rests on or something to cradle the microphone. You got two different options. You have something like this. This is a mic desk stand. And it can be adjusted, it can go up and down depending on your preference, but it literally sits on a flat surface and it holds your mic. It just kind of screws in that way and then you just kind of talk into it, right? That's kind of helpful and nice. These are very inexpensive. The bases are a little heavy, so they're not the best for travel, really, but they're great for just sitting. They do a great job just sitting on your desk. So this is one option. The downside of this could be the same problem you would have if you were holding your mic, and that is a lot of times guests will like tap the desk or bump it on accident, and sometimes that noise can get into the microphone and be an issue. But that's option number one. Option number two is what you've been staring at this entire time, and this is a boom arm or a mic arm, sometimes they call it. So if you're searching for it, boom or mic arm, something like that. There are a ton of different styles of arms out there. So depending on how long you want it to be and what kind of functionality you want it to have, some of them screw right into a desk, which I don't encourage because I don't like to waste and hurt my furniture. But a lot of them kind of have a clamp, and then you just tighten the clamp, which is what this one is. So this has a relatively short arm, but it's great because, I can push the mic down or I can lift it up, adjust it. And it's not dependent, like it's not gonna, if I'm tapping my fingers as I'm doing my podcast, it's not gonna pick up that noise, right? Because I'm not doing this, I'm not tapping up here. So it's really nice. It's a nice, convenient way to do your podcast. And again, you can kind of push it out of the way when you don't want it. And there's a bunch of different boom arms that you can purchase online as well. So I am going to link to all of this. The boom arm is what I have a tendency to use. But when I had a podcast format where I had that round table that I was telling you guys about, where we all had these mics, I had 6 of these things sitting around a table. But I had a lot of people tapping the table and, kind of bumping into things and shuffling papers right in it and things like that. So I wanted to give you some options with that. Oh, almost forgot. So this could be equipment if you want it to be, but you can also just use what you already have. You need something like headphones or earbuds. And yes, it can totally be these little guys that come with your phone or your tablet. That totally works. You're not really interested in the mic part of it, although in a pinch, you totally could use one that had a mic. I prefer to use an external one, but there you go. You could use that, but these work great too. What you want to try to avoid is having the sound come out of the speakers of your computer. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we talk about recording, but just for now, no, earbuds are fine, although there is some leakage that could come out of this. Audio could leak out of it because you don't have the second option, which is these big Princess Leia headphones, right? I pretty much block out everything. Now, if you catch me on a day that I'm just at my computer, I'm always wearing these. My kids are like, Mom, Mom, and I can't even hear them because I have these on. It's really important that the headphones are soft, that they're comfortable, and that they block out the extra noise. And so that's what external headphones like this would do. They're gonna run you a couple $100, most of them, anywhere between $150 and $200, but they also have the connector that can plug directly into your computer You might need some sort of adapter if you're using them with something like the Focusrite, because this won't plug directly into this. You'll need a little bit of a adapter for that, but either they work fine. If you want to save some money, go with the old-fashioned earbuds and you're good to go. So let's quickly review, okay? We have our microphone, we have our filter, we have our stand or our arm, and we have our headphones. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is really all you need to get started podcasting. So be sure to download the document that I created that spells out this equipment, that gives you links and all that good stuff. You can order all of this on Amazon and usually delivers in a couple days. So that's pretty good. And really that's it, guys. People try to make podcasting equipment seem so complicated, and it really doesn't have to be. All of this works amazing and your show will sound fantastic.